Hello YouTube, happy Thursday. Got a challenge for you today. Give you a few minutes to find me. I'm looking for me on some other devices. Let's see. Hope you're staying cool. It is just hot today. It's not as hot as it's been, but it sure feels like it. Hey Melanie, happy Thursday. All right, YouTube looks good. How about Facebook? How are we doing on Facebook? I see us. Let's see here. Happy Thursday, you guys. I can't believe we're headed up to another weekend already. It goes so fast. All right, I see the captions are auto-generated. Aha, there we go. All right, hello Facebook, hello YouTube. Happy Thursday. I've got a challenge for you today. So if you're not already familiar with the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social, we have a challenge every other Thursday, or every Thursday. Every other Thursday I've been going live with a project and then challenge you to try it. There are projects, or there are prizes involved. We do prize patrol. For the challenge launches on Thursday. You have until the next Tuesday to participate, and then we choose prize patrol 2 winners every week. Deepa, hi, how are you? Hey Marla. Deepa says, gorgeous treat. Hey, thanks, I was inspired. We just launched three of our newest PDF card classes, and so this is a treat that you can make inspired by our Citrus Blooms PDF card class. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna go here. All right, so this will be our challenge for the Craft Social this week. And if you're not familiar with our group on Facebook, let me show you really quick. It's our little corner of the internet. We love it there. Let me show you. All right, so this is our Facebook group. We pin the challenge every week in the featured. Last week we had a 3-ingredient challenge where you took the inspiration picture plus the 3 ingredients, so wood grain, pie, or cake, and gold. And you made your projects and shared. We'll be announcing winners for that one pretty soon. This week it's going to be our little box, and I'll show you more about that in just a minute. So what you'll do is you'll find the featured post if you give this a try, and you can add your project that is inspired by our little box into the comments, and then we choose 2 prizes every week. If you're not a member over on the Craft Social, get over there. We've got the greatest group of crafters, generous, lovely people who love to craft and share. So that is our Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social, and we hope that you'll join us over there for the challenge. Now the challenge this week is to take a die and make a box, turn it into a box. So today we're gonna take this die from Citrus Blooms and we are gonna turn it into this awesome treat box. All right, so I'll show you the inside real quick before we get started. Hey my friend, hi Gail Beth, how are you? Hey Jan, happy Thursday everyone. Jan says that was quite the challenge with the 3 ingredients. I'm telling you, I found the picture so pretty that I just had to make one up. I'm glad that you guys were considering it. You can play the challenges anytime, by the way. They're launched on Thursdays, and then you have till Tuesday for prize patrol, but you can play anytime. There's all kinds of inspiration challenges there for you on the group. All right, so I made this little box. I happen to have these little Galler chocolate bars. It's a little bit roomy for them. I made the box to fit this die, a little book style box, and ties closed with some ribbon. I've got it in this portrait orientation, but if you look at it from the back here, it would make an adorable in the landscape orientation too, depending on how you're decorating this little guy. All right, so let me pull that back through and show you. So from the back, it's good to take a look at the landscape orientation there. So you could decorate it that way, or you could do like I did and decorate it this way. All right, so that's our treat today. The challenge is to make a box using a die. I will have the challenge for you a little bit late today. We're having there's some family things going on, and so it's been a little extra special, interesting around here. So I'm going to post the challenge just a little bit later than usual, and I'm hoping that this will have a clean video and a project sheet tonight. Depending on how things go today, I also may not be live tomorrow. It's not really my story to tell or my news to share, but just know that our family is struggling a little bit, and I just want to be available. Okay, so I might not be live tomorrow. We'll post later, probably in the morning tomorrow, live at noon, our little logo, if we're going to go ahead and do it. Things are touch and go, and so I'll just let you know, okay? All right, so Tifa says that's gorgeous. I'm glad you like it, and it's just going to be such a fun box to have in your repertoire, especially if you have the Citrus Blooms bundle. So if you got the Citrus Blooms bundle, I think what happened is you just got a whole brand new use out of it. So you buy the Citrus Blooms bundle and you get the little box dies for free, right? You guys get that? Like, we're going to use this die from the Citrus Blooms and we're going to make this cute little treat box. So I hope that it makes your purchase of the Citrus Blooms an even better value. I call that stamper math. Buy the Citrus Blooms bundle, get the treat box dies for free. Stamper math. Anyway. All right, let me take a look at some of your comments. The best part is hanging out with you guys, so let's see what's going on. Robin says, happy to catch you live. I'm happy to catch you live. Thanks for joining me. So sad that the dies are unavailable. They are right now. They'll come back. What makes me sad is the bundle sale that's going on right now and how many are unavailable right now. But they'll be back, and we do have a year with them in this catalog. The challenge today is going to be to make any die that you have into a treat box, to kind of look at the technique that I'm doing here and see what dies you have in your collection. Or if you do have this one and you make this treat box, we want to see it. We want to see how you decorate it. And we want to know what fits inside. All right. So our challenge today is use a die in a creative way to make a treat box. This treat box or another one of your design, as you see how we're going to make this work. Jen says, saying prayers for your family. Please know that I'm here if you should need anything. Thank you, my friend. Tony says, finally getting back to doing more crafting. Finally, I saw your ice cream boxes. They were so pretty. Way behind on challenges. I need to pick and choose. You just do that. Pick and choose. Do what inspires you as you're getting back into crafting. We missed your participation, your shares, but I know you'll be back when you feel good. Hey, Veronica. Veronica says, I'm back from 2 weeks in Costa Rica. So glad to catch you live. I'm glad you're back. Did you have a good trip? See family? Was it enjoyable? I'm glad you're back. Welcome home. All right, let's see here. My friends on YouTube. Hey, Heidi. This project is stunning. Thank you. Thank you. Steph says, happy Thursday to you too. I'm glad you're here, Steph. Mary says, super cute. Julie, how have you been, my friend? I'm glad you're here. Melanie says, I realize I have very little cake or pie stamps. Oh, the challenge got you digging. Maybe now you know where the gaps are in your collection. Angelique says, sending prayers for you and your family. Thank you. You guys, I really appreciate it. And thank you for the flexibility to go live tomorrow or not go live tomorrow, depending on how things go. And I just appreciate that flexibility. Gian says, hello to Melanie Foy. Look at you guys. I like when you guys talk amongst yourselves. All right, so let me do one quick bit of housekeeping. Last week, we introduced 3 new PDF card classes. Now, these were card classes that were included in our paper sampler. So what we did for our paper sampler this time is if you joined our paper sampler, you got 1/4 of a package of all the designer series papers. You could do just the paper, which was just the paper. But if you did the paper plus, you got the paper and 3 card class PDFs to use that paper and a Craft With Me Zoom where we made the cards. So these are the Citrus Blooms cards that we made in that Zoom. Aren't they so fun, so beautiful? And this is the cards this PDF makes. Now I doubled mine up. It's a Wonder Recipe number 3 card class. If you're not familiar with our Wonder Recipes, our Wonder Recipes are 1-sheet Wonder cutting diagrams for a 6x6 paper. So this was the one that we focused on. We modified it slightly. The fun part about these cutting diagrams is you can cut your paper and just trust the process, dole out the pieces and make cards. It really is surprising how easy the process goes if you trust it. You can modify it. So that's what we did in this class. We modified, we cut 1.5 by 1.5 inch squares for most of our paper and then left these 1.5 by 3 and then doled out those pieces to make, let's see here, I forget how many cards we made. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it made 5 cards if you did 1 sheet of paper. It made 10 cards if you did 2 sheets of paper. I did 2 sheets of paper. So you can modify them. You can multiply them. They really are very flexible. And of course, the PDF card classes, you don't have to use the oranges. You could use the lemons or the apples or the blueberries, or you could use the pomegranates from Celebration. So with a little bit of imagination, you can modify this, you can multiply this, and it really is a great resource to get you stamping. So this is our PDF card class featuring Wonder Recipe number 3. The Wonder Recipe is included right in there. You don't have to go find it. And it makes 3 card designs. And if you do the Wonder Recipe, it'll make 5 cards. All right, so you can get our PDF classes in our store. And that was one that was just released on Friday. So I wanted to bring it to your attention in case you missed it. It is the top post on the blog, kitchentablestamper.com. And the top post is announcing our brand new classes. 3 to choose from this time. Country Birdhouses, Painted Lavender, and the Citrus Blooms. So this is what kind of came out of that as I was trying to decide what to make for today. I was looking back at that card class, and I like to, after I do a card class, then play around with the pieces and the color palette and the tools and make a coordinating treat. And this is the treat. Uses the Citrus Blooms dies, and then these are my treat inside. I got these Galler chocolate bars. Let me show you this just in case you have a Costco near you. My Costco had these on their clearance. You can always tell Costco's clearancing something because on the price tag in the upper right corner, there's a little asterisk if they're getting rid of them. So these were the spring collection. So I imagine that they might not be really easy to find right now. My Costco just happened to have a couple of, like a case or 2 of them. They had mixed them up with a different kind of candy. And I was like, oh, those little bars are really cute. They'd be fun. But you might try like Mercy chocolate bars, maybe a Kit Kat. I don't know if I have a mini Kit Kat in my reach, but if you find what fits, please tell us. But the box is really meant, the tray, like the book box, it opens like a book. It's a book style box. And the tray was more made to fit the die cut than it was to fit the candy. But these do fit, and they're dark chocolate orange. So what could be more appropriate, right? All right, so there's our treat. Hey, Leanne, I'm glad you're here. All right, you guys, everybody's hearing me loud and clear. Let's get crafting. I hope that you'll check out our card classes, and there is a coupon there. If you get all 3 card classes, you can save $3, the ones that we just released. All right, so I'm going to start with this very vanilla piece. I cut it using the large label die from Citrus Blooms. Now let me grab my ruler real quick. I know this is 5 1/8, but let me tell you how tall it is. It is 3 3/4 by 5 1/8. So if you cut yourself a piece of cardstock that size and then did a little fancy corner punch or a corner round, you should be able to do a box that's like this. Then after I die cut that, I added the texture to it using the eyelet 3D embossing folder. So let's grab a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and let's get some texture on here. And we used the eyelet in our Paper Plus paper sampler. So the people that got Paper Plus got this embossing folder to use on all 3 classes. So you'll see that all 3 of those PDFs feature the same eyelet folder, and it's new in the Stampin' Up annual catalog. All right, I'm gonna just pop this through and give it some texture. Here's my eyelet folder. And well, I like to make sure it kind of starts and stops at the same place, so I'll run it across the line there to keep it level, and then make sure that on the left side it's got the little circle eyelets right along the edge, and that way it starts and stops about the same place in the design and runs level across the card. Give that a pop. All right, so this needs number 4. Give it a crank. And there is our lovely textured die cut. Let's get these guy out of here. And I'm gonna bring in my Simply Score tool. Let me switch over there. Hey Dawn, how are you? Happy Thursday. I'm glad you're here. How's everybody doing in this hot weather? Everybody experiencing this hot? It's making me a little bonkers. My poor chickens, all they do is pant. All right, we're gonna pop this into the Simply Scored, and then we're going to score at 2 1/4, and then rotate and score at 2 1/4. Now what we've got left in between is centered, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Do you see? We've got 2 1/4 inch covers on both sides and 5/8 for the spine. So once I divided that up, and then I'm gonna fold it with a bone folder. I'm gonna be very careful not to press the design out. Just make sure that that crease is strong enough. Then what I did was I measured the available space that I had here before we got to off the edge. So to the most, I didn't go all the way to the edge because then my box would have been very squatty. It would have been kind of a square box. I could have done that, but I was looking for a rectangle because my candies are rectangle. I wasn't making the box to fit the candies. I made the box to fit the die. But I knew I wanted a rectangle box. So what I did was I measured my crease to this point, and from the point here to the point here. All right, so that I could figure out how I wanted this tray to fit in, because I don't want it to show when it's closed. So if you're doing this with a different die, you'll have to make your measurement before you design the die or design the tray. All right, so that's what I did. And let's see here. Let me show you my little tray here. So from the fold to the point, I've got a box that is 1 7/8, and then from the point to the point, I have a box that is 2 3/4, and then I've got 5/8 of an inch tall because that's the spine. All right, so when you're playing around with your dies. Die cut them out of something that doesn't cost a lot. So you get some copier paper or some, I don't know, cardstock that isn't very expensive, and you'll play around and work out your measurements. For this particular die though, it's 2 1/4, rotate 2 1/4, and then the tray is 5 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now the 5/8 of an inch is how tall the spine is. So we're going to grab our very vanilla cardstock, 5 1/4 by 4 1/4, and we're going to go 5/8 and 5/8 plus 5/8 as 1 1/4. We're going to do that on all 4 sides. And we're doing that 5/8 and 1 1/4 because we want a double thick walls on the box. Because the top lays on top of this and it gets handled from this way, you don't want these sides to be flimsy. Otherwise you run a crushing risk on your box. So we're doing a double wall design. So 5/8 and then another 5/8 is 1 1/4 all the way around. 5/8, 1 1/4, and the last side 5/8 and 1 1/4. I'm going to link you to in the comments on the craft social, and in the blog post I'm going to link you to some other die boxes that I've done where I've taken the die and worked out a cute little box treat. I think it's one of those things that you just get a little bit more money or a little bit more value out of the money that you spend on your die purchases. All right, so we need to work these score lines. We need to trim it according to the template. And while I do that, we can chit chat. Dawn's this beautiful treat box. Thank you so much. I really have been having a good time with the citrus blooms, and the die set is really worth the price of admission. It's got some leaves and sprigs, but this big label and the options that you have with the big label to put it with or without the leafy frame, just really, it's a cool die set. And this box just, it had to be made. It really did. So if you've got citrus blooms, bookmark this one. Come and grab the project sheet. We'll have a project sheet for you guys. I don't know if I'll have it tonight or if I'll have it tomorrow. It just kind of depends on how things flow right now. But there will be a clean video and a project sheet for this one. If you got citrus blooms, watch the social media and the blog. We'll let you know when it's all ready for you. All right, so when I'm cutting this, I like to go 2 scores from the left and cut 2 scores in. You see that? And then I'll take a little angle, and then I'm going to cut 1 score from the left. So move over 1 to the left, cut straight along there, and then a little angle. Then I'll cut off these 2 squares. And then we can cut off this little tab. All right, and then you're going to just repeat that. So I've turned my box. I'm going to go 2 scores from the left, straight down 2 scores, a little angle, over 1 score to the left, straight down, and then a little angle, cut off these 2 squares, and cut off this tab. Now we're going to do the same thing on the right side. 2 scores from the right, cut down 2 scores, a little angle, 1 score to the right this time, cut down 2 scores, a little angle, that might be a big angle, there we go. We're going to cut off these 2 squares and this tab, then rotate around, same thing on the right side here. 2 scores from the right, cut in 2 scores, cut a little angle, 1 score to the right, I'm going to cut straight down, a little angle, remove these 2, and this one. And there is your double wall tray. Now for the adhesive on this guy, you're going to put the adhesive inside on the long tabs, all the way to the edge and on the long tabs, all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to flip it over to the outside of the box. And then you're going to put adhesive on the little square tabs. This will give you a nice strong tray that will hold up to all the pressure. See, you don't want this to crush when you put any sort of pressure on it. All right, let me take your pick tool and we'll remove the liner on those adhesives and put this box together. I'm going to start with these little tabs first. You could do all 4 tabs, the inside and the outside ones, if you want to. You just have to be careful that you don't stick it to you. All right, so bring the corners up and you've got your tray, but then you're going to bring these tabs to the inside. So remove the liner. I'm going to do the long guys first, and there is a method to the madness for that. I'm going to do the long ones first because here are those tabs inside your box. And so we want to further secure the corners, the shape of the box, by adhering that one down. Now they're sandwiched in. It's nice and smooth. There's also a better finish inside your box. So somebody opens the box, they take out the treats, and look how nice it still looks in there. No tabs. You don't see the construction this way either. So you get a nice solid box, and it hides all the construction on the inside. All right, so how many of you guys have the Citrus Blooms dies? Anybody fan? They're not available now, but they'll be back. Anybody take advantage? I hope that this box just makes you happy. And you can definitely take this concept, this kind of reverse engineering, where you measure the size and determine the finished size, divide the covers to figure out the height, and then kind of reverse engineer the box. You can do that with any big die that you have. If you don't have this die, start with a rectangle that's 5 1/8 by what did we say, 3 3/4, and then work your corners with some kind of treatment, whether you use a punch, and you should be able to still make this little treat box from a rectangle. David says I have them, although I haven't used them yet. I'm excited to use them to make your Stamp-A-Stack class, and now this gorgeous treat. Oh, good. Wonderful. See, that's it. I really feel like it's Stamper's math. It is, and this is where the extra value is, and I hope that you feel like I'm bringing value to the time that you're spending watching. I really hope you see the possibilities now with this die besides, card fronts. All right, we're going to take a couple of strips of tear and tape across the bottom of our little tray, and then we're going to put that in, and we're going to put it right up against the fold and place it so that it's inside those scallops so that it doesn't show from the front or the back. So we're going to open this up, and we're going to put it so that it's inside these scallops. It'll go, the corners of the box will go to this scallop and up against the first fold from the left side. So I'm going to just kind of drop it in, but I'm not going to burnish it down. I can move it up a bit, and there, it'll be completely hidden when we close the box. All right, so we've made our little book box. Now, how do we keep it closed? We're going to do a belly band, and I want to show you another fun trick with another tool. All right, so here's our belly bands. The belly band is Mediterranean Blooms Designer Series paper, and it's 1 5/8 by 7 1/8. All right, Jan says, I don't have the bundle, but my mind is going crazy thinking what I can use. Yeah, look through your dies and see. I'll show you a couple other examples that'll give you a big picture of the method, you know, because lots of big dies will make really cute treat boxes like this. All right, 7 1/8 by 1 5/8. Now that 1 5/8 is important because I want to show you how I got these perfect round ends on my belly band, right? So what we're going to do first is pop it around our box. We want to meet the ends, all right? So they meet, and then what we want to do is kind of snug it up, and we're going to put the scores in here by just trying to keep those ends as close to met up as we can, and we're going to pinch the fold. Now here's the thing, this is 5/8, but to get around 5/8 you need a little bit more than 5/8. So 5/8 plus a 16th, which would be what, 11/16? I think, and that's the key there. I don't want to deal with 16ths. So to not deal with 16ths, I don't score it, I just use the box itself and find my folds. And now what I'll do is I'll take my bone folder, and where I found those folds, I'll line up the edges so that if these are parallel, then this is a perpendicular, and this will be a straight crease as long as it lines up the parallels. All right, so I got that crease, and I'm going to work that. And then on this other one where I kind of use my fingertips to mark where it should be scored, I can just work in a nice fold. All right, so we've got our nice little folds. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this guy and we're going to line it up so that it's flat. Oh, I lost my end a little bit, but that's okay. You want to make sure that this is flat though. If this is angle like that to meet those, then your ends aren't going to meet in the end. What's important is that your bottom is square. Okay, so get your bottom square. If your ends still don't meet, that's okay. Just hold on with the square bottom, flatten it on the table if you need to, make sure it's flat. Now you're going to take this modern label punch. This one is, I don't know if this one made it into the catalog or if it's online only, but you can do this with any kind of punch as long as you figure the width first. So this is 1 5/8, and I told you that was important. We're going to pop this into the punch from the back side. So see what I'm doing? I'm popping it in from the back side. And hold on, I got to see here because there's a piece in there that didn't get shook out, and it doesn't want to come out either. Hold on. Let me show you what the problem is so that you guys know what I'm saying. I did another one of these, and there's a piece still in the punch. Okay, got to get that out. Clear that out. Now, back to entering the punch from the back. So there's my little belly band. It's in the punch from the back. This is nice and square still. Do you see? It's not at an angle. And so I'm going to line this up so that I cut just the very edge off of both pieces. You see that? Now I'll punch. And I've got these perfectly little rounded edges for my belly band. I can pop that guy back in there, glue that onto my treat box, bring them together, punch a hole, and we'll tie it together with ribbon. So there's another new trick for an old tool, something a little bit different. Now, so you've got the modern label, you buy the modern label, you get the end punch for free. Okay, so you can make little oblong shapes as long as you want them by using the punch from the back side. All right, let me get some more tear and tape. I'm gonna put it on with tear and tape. If you're gonna use the tear and tape, you gotta be careful and get it right. It's gonna stick tight the first time. So I'm gonna not go all the way to the end because it hangs off, but I'm gonna add a couple of strips. Remove that. What do you guys think? Oh, Jan says that's so cool. Good. Hopefully this has been a value post or a value live share for you, where you're getting more value out of the things that you might have purchased. Or if you've had your eyes on these things, maybe they have more value to you now and you might consider ordering them. MarisaAlvarez.stampinup.net. All right, so we're going to take this little book box. We've got our spine, and we're going to, before we stick it down, make sure that we're in the middle, halfway. I'm a little low, so I'm going to slide it up a bit. Hang on. I just want to line this up right before I stick it down. Right in the middle. Right in the middle. There. All right. I'm going to open up my box. I'm going to burnish it down. Got my bone folder. Burnish where that adhesive is. All right, so there's our box. We've got our belly band. Let's grab a hole punch. I got 1/8 inch hole punch over here, and I'm going to punch right through these tabs. I'm going to try and go in about 1/4 inch at least through both layers at the same time. Now we've got our way to secure, so I'm going to go ahead and just drop my candies in right there. And I've got this diagonal stripe ribbon like we used on the cards in the card kit. I'm going to thread through and tie it up. Oh, of course you could, if you wanted to, add a little maybe die cut piece right here with a greeting on it or a sentiment or to from. Add a little piece about the same size as the box if you want to, so that you could add a little message like a card. So if you did like a 1 3/4 by 2 3/4 piece with a greeting stamped on it or a die cut that's about that size, you could add a little greeting inside this just like you would a card. Okay. All right, let's see how you guys are doing. Deirdre said came in late. What candy is that? They are Galler chocolate bars. They're Belgian candies, and I found them at Costco. Now, here's the thing. They were at my Costco, stacked on top of other candy, and they were like $9.97. So you know when anything is 7 cents at the end, that Costco's reduced the price. And if there's an asterisk in the top right corner of the price sign, then you know that they're not getting any more. So these were at Costco, my Costco, but they were on clearance. I'll show you the package though, in case you want to look and see if your Costco still has some. They are the spring edition or spring collection, so no wonder why mine were $9.97. But they're almost a pound of chocolate, Belgian chocolate, and they were $9.97 at Costco. Let me show you, in case you're joining us late. They're perfect for this. I would try, if you've got them, like the Merci chocolate bars might fit in this one. I did make it just a little bit bigger than the chocolate because I made it to fit the Citrus Blooms dies, not necessarily the chocolate, but these chocolate do fit. And this is what I found. So that's what you're looking for if your Costco has them too. And we have 3 Costcos, 2 of them that we go to very regularly. Only one of the 3 still had them. So, but it gives you something to search on. I don't know about Costco, just got my membership there. Oh, it's my favorite. Oh. Max and I go to Costco and at least once on the weekend. You know, sometimes we'll go more than once in a week to get things. We're a big family and we eat every single meal at home. And there's 5 of us, so we use a lot of paper towels and all the things, right? And so Costco's sometimes our date. And we'll get to the checkout and it never fails. You know, $187.24. What did you buy? It's the joke. And then I say that to him, and then the cashier looks at Max like, how should I respond to that? What should I say? And then they see that we're both grinning, and then they laugh too. But yeah, we do a lot of Costco. We do Sam's too. We're a big family, so I've got both memberships and I find some fun treats there sometimes. All right, so let's get to decorating this, shall we? I'm going to grab some very vanilla cardstock, this single orange stamp. There's a 3 oranges or the single, and we're gonna stamp this one 3 times and paper piece it. You can absolutely color this. Look at what I just did. Oh my gosh, is it my first day? I think it's my first day. Everybody just, Auntie Mare, I think it's my first day.
It's your first day.
It's my first day. All right, let's wipe that off on a paper towel instead of on the project. When I did classes in person, I would always say, whoever looked like this, the most like this, is the one that had the most fun. Tony says, Belgium chocolates are amazing. Had an exchange student from there and his family. He spoiled us with chocolates. Still good friends. And when they come back to visit, they bring more chocolates. Though friends that come back to visit and bring more chocolates are good friends. All right, so I'm going to stamp my orange once on Very Vanilla with Early Espresso. And I'm not gonna die cut this one. I'm just gonna stamp it and set it aside. Now I'm gonna clean this one, and then by the magic of television, please forgive me if you don't know exactly how to do this. I can always link you up to a video, but I'm gonna show you guys. I did the same stamp with white embossing powder, Versamark ink and white embossing powder, and then die cut it. This is on Old Olive. This is on Pumpkin Pie. And I just used my Versamark. I still don't have the Wow embossing powders, you guys. I've got the Stampin' Up white. And then heat it and cut it out, all right? It's just too hard to heat emboss and chit chat during live. So I figured we'd have some magic of television there. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna paper piece these to get this multicolor, kind of dimensional because of the layering, really cool orange. Sometimes when you get an image that has spaces this big and you say, oh, I don't want to color that, you know, it's going to take a lot of ink, and am I going to be able to make it look nice, not like all flat? Sometimes paper piecing is a lot of fun. We did that for both of these card classes, did some paper piecing, because Country Birdhouse, one of the other PDF classes that we just released, that also has some big open spaces. And so if you're like me and sometimes you look at a stamp set that's got such big spaces, and you say, oh, I don't really want to color that. This is a fun way to make it look a little different and artistic. So I'm going to cut out the flowers from the vanilla layer, and I'm just cutting really close to the line here. There's 2 flowers and then the little buds at the end of the blooms, and I'm gonna cut them right off. So we're gonna have a little fussy cutting here. That's the other reason why I heat embossed ahead of time, is because I knew I was gonna have to cut apart the pieces. Deirdre said, love the look of embossing on colored cardstock, right? The contrast is just, I don't know, it's so sharp and bold. And this technique actually, I think, will make your variety of oranges. You can color them, you can watercolor them, you can paper piece them, and you get a really bold image this way. All right, so 1 flower, and I'm gonna do this other little flower. Tony says, now you look at me like me. I have green all over my fingers today. Green ink, I got the brown. We're both having the most fun, right, Tony? You guys, don't know what got into me. I don't usually put my finger in the ink pad, but I almost never put my finger in the ink pad and then my thumb. That was a pretty epic trick. That's okay. It's well worth it. I'm gonna get this guy off. When you're fussy cutting, you do not have to cut it all out in one piece. Cut off the excess, it makes it easier. All right, let me switch over on Facebook and see. Did anyone catch the name of the big die? Good question, Melanie. It is the label from Citrus Blooms. I'll show you that die set in just a minute. It's really kind of a cool die set. but it is actually the one that goes with the stamps. So you can get the box and decorate it all from the same bundle. But at the end, I'll show you one more little version of this box. All right, one more bit here. These little guys on the end. I'm going to cut right off on the line here where it's going to meet the green, but then I'm going to cut just past the line where it ends, you know, where it doesn't piece against anything. You're just going to pop that one aside. Now, the same way that you're cutting the vanilla flowers, you're going to cut the orange. But when you cut the orange, you gotta decide if you're gonna cut the line off of the orange and let the green line stand, the line that's on the green one, or if you're going to cut right up against the line and the line from this orange one is gonna be the one that stands. I like to leave the line on the orange one. All right, so let me show you what I mean. We got our little vanilla buds. Now, all we need from this one is the orange, but I like to die cut this edge. So I just went ahead and die cut it, get kind of a head start. But then from the edge, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna cut off everything that's not orange, but I'm leaving the line that is the orange. So do you see the white line is on the left side of my scissor blade? I'm keeping it. You could cut it right off and then place it inside this line. It's your choice, but you want to be consistent. So I'm going to go around keeping the line and then cut it away. And then at the stem here, I'm going to just dig out a little, but leave the line. And now here, I'm going to cut off, leaving the line. See that? We're going to cover this flower, so don't fussy cut it. Right here, we're going to cut off, leaving the line. This leaf we cut off, leaving the line of the orange, and then just meet where it was die cut. So there's your little orange. Now, here's a good fun part. We're going to reassemble. So you're going to want to grab one of these. Spoiler alert, Card Club for Cool People. 6 consecutive months, Card Club for Cool People. This is your spoiler alert. You need one of those, and you're going to need one of these. All right. I will link this up on Amazon. I just put my multi-purpose liquid glue when I ordered from Stampin' Up right into this little bottle. And I got these new ones that have the little cap attached. I love that. Going to bring my Old Olive base layer and just trace around with this very fine point glue. And then I'll lay the orange right in on its place. Then I got the same thing. We're going to do the flowers. So I'll do this flower and I'll just add my glue right on top of the flower. Fine point, really precision application, flows smooth. I'm really liking this new style bottle that I got. I've been linking you to them. My friend Katie gave me one, and it has kind of a separate metal fine point and a pin. I'm liking this style better with the plastic one-piece metal and the cap. I'm finding that I'm getting less clogs, but I'll let you know as I use this one more. All right. Let's see here. Nadine says, love this idea. Thank you. I'm glad you do. I love to take a die and from the sets or from the collections of like even nested ones. I don't know what size the largest perennial postage rectangle is, but maybe that one could be and have a cute little postage edge. I love to take big dies and then turn them into a treat box like this because I feel like I got more value for my money. I hope that you feel the same way too. And this idea I'm doing it with the Citrus Blooms label, but you can do this with any big dies in your collection. And that's kind of why I took the time to show how I start with the measurement, the length and width that I want, and then take the height, and then you just work out from the measurement that you want, the 5/8 out, and then 5/8 out, and then that's what size cardstock you need for your box. It's something that you can rinse and repeat for different dies in your collection and be a whole lot of fun. All right, so now we've got a really cool orange, and it looks totally different than if you were to color it with markers or watercolor it. It just hopefully adds another technique to your onto your radar, so you can try that with your Citrus Blooms. I want to do one more little detail. I'm going to color down the stem with Early Espresso Stampin' Right. So I'm just going to change this little stem here from green to brown, and just a little something. I did it because of the way the designer series paper was. It had little brown stems, so that's what I did. Got a flag here, cut from Very Vanilla. We did that one ahead using the smallest banner die from the Nested Essentials die set. It's this little double stitched one right here. And the word love actually comes from Citrus Bloom. It's this All the Love stamp set, or stamp. I really like this All the Love stamp, but it's not going to fit on this little banner, so we're going to just mask it down. Got my stamp, Night of Navy, for my greeting. That's what I did for my Stamp-A-Stack, so I want this treat to match my Stamp-A-Stack card class cards. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of something low tack tape, or you can take a Post-it, whichever you have handy, and I'm going to mask off all the, and then I'm going to ink just the word love. I think I got it. I think I got the edge pretty good too, so let's hope I don't leave a halo. But I got the word love, and we're going to put it right in this little banner. Can you guys see the top of my head? A little bit to the right because we want to make it a tag. Oh yes, see how much ink I got on the edge of the stamp there? I was for sure my love was going to be underlined. Not bad. All right, let's see. I'm now going to close this up. When I close this guy up, what I do is I do tap out, like use the tapping and the gravity to tap as much of the excess out. And I try to, if there's glue kind of stuck in the needle, because you've tapped down, just kind of clear out some of the excess before I put it away. I find that helps me. And then cap it up. I love that there's a little airtight cap right included. It's multi-purpose liquid glue is my favorite. I love that I've got time to move. I really do like it, but it's sticky, and when it oozes out and gets on your fingers, then you're sticky, and it doesn't dry because it's two-way glue, so then you stay sticky. And so I'm really liking the precision point. I get a little bit less sticky. I don't know, I'm kind of a sticky crafter, but I get a little bit less sticky that way. So I've been enjoying this little bottle. My friend Katie told me I needed it. I needed to try it. I'm like, no, I'm a good gluer. I don't need it. And I'm pretty happy, and I've tried two different bottles now, and I really like this one. All right, dimensionals. We're leaving this to dry for a second because my Night of Navy takes forever to dry, and I'm not smearing it after I got it so good. Amy says impressive. Well, thank you. The box or the glue bottle? I don't know which. Maybe the paper piecing technique. That's the one that really made me happy. There's our orange. So you could stop there if you want to, but we're going to add a little love and some dingles. If you haven't seen the new card classes that we just released, check it out. We do have a card class that matches this treat box, the Citrus Blooms Stamp-A-Stack card class. So you can make this treat box and stamp a stack of coordinating cards, which would be really fun. All right, I got one of my little flossers. I'll link these guys too. I could not find them because I didn't know what they were called. Kept calling them flossers, and they're not. They're something else. And so a friend sent me some, and another friend sent me some, and I am set for life now. Thank you guys. But then I was able to use the packaging to find a better search on Amazon. So I did add a little, I will add a little link for you, but you just loop your thread, because this is a 16th inch hole for our tag. Loop your thread, linen thread, through the loop on the flosser, and then you put the end through the hole, and then you just gently pull, and it brings it right through for you without any fuss. You don't have to try and get that 16th inch linen thread through the 16th inch hole while it shreds, and you might say a swear or two if you're anything like me. These just make life really easy, and they're for like dental implants or flossing around retainers or things like that, and they just make that so much easier. All right, let's cut this off of the spool, and I'm gonna tie a thread knot here, kind of close to my tag. Thread knot is when you loop around your finger and then put the tails through the loop and pull. There's your thread knot. And I have fat fumble thumbs, so I left myself kind of a generous tail. We're gonna put a dimensional on the back of the tag, and I'm gonna roll up a glue dot behind the knot. So let me grab my glue dot and my take your pick tool. I'm going to roll this guy right on the thing there. It's all rolled up. And then I'm going to put it on the back of the knot. There it is. And then I can remove this and put the knot on the stem of the oranges and tuck the little tag behind. Now it looks like it's tied. Katie was here last night. I'm like, how do I put that? But I can't put a bow because it closes with a bow. I still want some linen thread. She goes, yeah, you need to make it so it looks like it's tied to the stem of the orange. So just put in that little glue dot so it sticks to the stem. There's your little love tag. And the last touch. Jennifer says, that's a great tip for the flosser, right? Oh, it saves me a lot of sweating. Maybe a little swearing, but we'll just keep that to ourselves, right? I'm going to add some of these in color shimmer gems. I love the chameleon colors of these. You can, of course, use it with peach pie, which is what color it is, but once you put it next to the pumpkin pie, it really does step up to the plate for other colors. I like to mix them around with ones that are not the in colors and see what works. There's a little sparkle, and that is our treat box today. I'm going to do a clean video for it and a project sheet. Don't know if it'll be ready today or tomorrow. Things are a little exciting around here, but I will have it. And then I'm also going to give you a little sneak peek. So one of the other card classes that we released last Friday was the painted lavender card class. So this one, I doubled up this one. It makes 3 designs, one of each when you use the Wonder Recipe. And I just want to show you this because I want you to think outside of the Citrus Blooms box. Outside the box with the Citrus Blooms. Here's the Citrus Blooms die box with the painted lavender. So you definitely do not have to use the Citrus Blooms to make and decorate this box. The die will give you just so much more mileage, and hopefully it makes you see the dies as even more valuable because you can use them for the treat box too. And again, you can do the treat box this way, or look how cute that is in the horizontal in the landscape horizontal orientation too. So you could decorate it up this way, be just as cute. All right, so this was our value added lesson for the day. Hopefully you pick up what I'm putting down. Gia says, thanks, love your treat boxes. You make them so easy for us to create. Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. Deepa says that one's stunning too. I'm glad you like it. All right, so this is the card class that inspired the treat box. You can pick that up. $9.99 for our PDF card classes. There's 3 new ones. If you buy all 3, you can save $3. Be sure to grab the coupon code either from the description of this or from the blog post, kitchentablestamper.com. Amy, you're making me smile. Amy says, I do not need the citrus blooms dies. Repeat, I do not need the citrus blooms dies. You might want them, but you don't need them. Like I said, if you take something that's similar in size and shape, measurements, 5 1/8 by, what was it, 3 3/4. Let me get that again. Hold on. Yeah, by like 3 3/4, you could pretty much do the same thing. So be creative or buy the dies, whichever you like. Brittany says, oh yes, you do need them. Hey Brittany, how are you, friend? Brittany says, very pretty, thank you. Deirdre says, I love this set, just not sure I would use it much. Decisions. Well, that's part of why I thought it would be a good idea to circle back to this one, because we featured it so hard for our paper sampler. When we did our paper sampler, Paper Plus, our customers who did paper sampler with us got 3 PDF classes, and this is one of them. So I did, when I shared this class, I said, do it with the lemons. If you got the lemons that were just not just retired recently, or do it with the apples that just retired recently. So first we talked about what were the alternatives to use with the class that they got for free as part of the paper sampler. Then the second thing that I wanted to circle back and do is show that there's more than corn in Indiana, right? So you can do some other fun things with this that will make them more valuable as you decide. As you're weighing the scales, do I buy that or don't buy that? Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassing. Look at that ink. As you're weighing the scales, do I buy them or don't buy them? Here's a little bit more information for you to decide on. Amy says, Brittany, you're not helping. You guys crack me up. Oh my goodness. Robin Wilson said lemons. Yes, exactly. Get the Citrus Blooms PDF and use your lemons. If you just, what were those called? Sweet Citrus? Sweet Citrus, I think it was the lemons that just recently retired. It would translate very well to that. So with this little box to put the little lemons on. The apples, I forget what that was called. Apple Blossom, maybe? Do you guys remember what the apples were? We had a pomegranate set not too long ago in Celebration. So if you're looking at this PDF, the Stampa Stack, it will translate to a lot of the other fruits that we have that you might already have on your shelf. But if you're contemplating the Citrus Blooms bundle, here's a little more information to help you make that decision. Little education. Watermelons, yes, you could. You could definitely get your vines and your fruits and switch them out. This is the cards that the PDF, these are our cards. So you could absolutely, I think, put in your watermelons and vines on the different designs. So just 2 ways to deal with this. Either you can switch out your stamp set on the PDF, or if you're trying to decide if you wanted to purchase the Citrus Blooms, there's more that you can do with it, and it really does. This die right here is worth its weight in gold. Let me show you the other part of this real quick since we're talking about this die. This is from the Citrus Blooms. All right, so here's the die set itself, and we have the frame. Now this frame fits right inside here, and then you can get a leafy frame. This would be cut out and it'd be leafy all around. It's very elegant. We used it on one of the cards, so let me show you how that looks. So here's the frame when it cuts out. I tape the 2 of them together, run it right through, and you get that leafy frame. So you have a choice, a leafy frame or a solid label, which is really nice. This, if you got the jungle pails, if you got the monkeys, if you've got any of the tropical botanical sets that we've had recently, this is gonna be a good wingman this frame to make those things look fresh and new again when you try to put them on a card. All right, so there's these. But then you also get in this set, of course, the one to cut out the one orange and the one to cut out the two oranges, but the rest of the die set all stands by itself. So you can do little flowers, you can do littler flowers, and then all these leaves. So all but the two dies to cut the oranges are independent dies also. So that's kind of a nice thing to know about this die set. You will get the two that cut out the orange images, but if you didn't want to get bundled and you only wanted the dies when they come back in stock, you could get them, and they would be very useful with the label, the leafy frame, all those beautiful leaves and flowers. So don't get bundled if you're not sold on the stamps. It's okay. It's okay not to get bundled, you guys. Hey, Jerry, I'm glad you're here. We're wrapping up, but there will be a replay right away. Here's our treat box. We used the Citrus Blooms dies and turned that label into the cutest little treat box. So let me show you how that opens up, and then I will sign off so you can get to the replay. Lots of great additional dies in that bundle for sure, right? Robin says, thank you always for the inspiration. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for spending some time with me. So here's how it opens up, like a little book. And it's from that big label die in the Citrus Blooms die set. And there's our little closed one. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me. My usual schedule is to go live Friday at noon. I'm not 100% committed to it. I had mentioned earlier that there's some things happening. It's personal and the family stuff, and I might want to be available tomorrow given what's going on. So I'm just going to play it by ear. Tomorrow I'll put up the going live at noon logo box if we're going to go live. All right, so thanks for giving me some flexibility for this. It's just, I just might want to be available. I'll decide and see. The project sheet for this and the clean video will come later, maybe even tomorrow. And you guys can find me, Marisa, at kitchentablestamper.com is my email. You can shop 24/7 at marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Is that okay? Oh, I hope that's okay. This is my favorite part of the week, is hanging out with you guys, but there are just some things going on. All right, let's see here. Angelique says, love that, so pretty. Melanie says, reminds me of a taco, right? It really could be, especially in this orientation. It kind of has that taco feel. All right, somebody's going to take that and run with it, I bet. You guys have a really great weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow, watch the social media for the going live graphic if we're going to go ahead and be live tomorrow at noon. And I will see you later. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you feel like you got some value out of this. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.